Who will buy things if AI takes over everyone's job? My name is Chris. I talk about AI and leaving corporate, and I'm here to tell you about it. So many people in my last video commented and said, who will buy things if AI takes everyone's jobs? Well, I'm here to tell you that you need to look at the bigger picture. This is not checkers, it is chess. What they want to do is create two classes of people. They don't want a middle class anymore, and you can see that it's being hollowed out as we speak. They think that the middle class is creeping up too much into the elite class. They talk about this in the World Economic Forum. There's just too many people on Earth. They want to go back to the way it was in medieval days and even before, where there's wealthy people and then there's the poor that get controlled like cattle. Slowly but surely, AI will take out the middle class and pretty much all these office jobs. When that happens, people will either need to decide, I need to get rich and be part of the wealthy class, and so they will do something about it, or they will be part of the poorer class. Now, what you need to figure out is what side you lean on. Do you have a job that's going to withstand time, that's going to help you get rich in the future, or not? Now, long term, what the plan probably is universal basic income. They basically spoon feed you a small income to survive, and then they control everything that you do, and they tell you what to do. If you're part of the wealthy class, you probably have more freedom. The jobs that AI will
If you replace all your employees with AI and robots like you're trying to do, then who's going to have money to buy the stuff that you sell? If nobody's got a job, nobody's got money. And if nobody's got money, nobody can buy stuff.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo-Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashim, which means in the name, Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation. And that is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Now, as you saw from the two clips that were played for you, AI is doing a job on replacing the middle class, okay? Because it's pretty much making the middle class obsolete by taking all the jobs that one could do and replacing them with what? Artificial intelligence, automation, and everything else that is in line with AI, okay? And in the second clip, the guy asked a question that everyone should be asking. If AI is replacing all the jobs, how are the people going to pay or buy anything? And that's just it. They don't want you buying anything. They want you coming to them for all your wants and needs, for every type of handout, okay? And this is where they're taking it. I was almost going to say this is where they're slowly taking it, but they're moving, okay? They pushing this thing. They getting ready to roll this whole thing out, because why? Essentially and eventually, they will have you take a implantable device about the size of a grain of rice underneath your skin, your epidermic, and in order for you to buy and sell and to receive any type of supplement, whether it's universal basic income or whatever else type of needs you need, such as medical attention or whatever, you're going to have this microchip, okay? And only the uber rich, the wealthy, will have different avenues, different things that they can do, as opposed to the poor will be limited to what they can do, okay? Probably get food, whether it's GMO or artificial lab meat or whatever, and they will be pretty much they will be the poor will be subject to just barely making it, okay? To put it in a nutshell, you'll get your basic necessities, a roof over your head, something to eat, and that's pretty much it. You may get some type of clothing, okay? But it won't be nothing like the uber rich, the wealthy class going to have, because why? They're going to have a different type of social scale than you at the bottom. But make no mistake about it, the middle class is being wiped out, okay? Where is the middle class? Make it make sense. Maybe the topic of this subject, this lesson, and the Bible does. The Bible makes it make sense, okay? Now, when we look at this chapter here in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, it tells us that the middle class is gone, okay? At this point in time, the middle class is no more. It says, Revelation 13 and 16, and he, who is the he? Esau, Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, because he calls himself that. We know him as the Edomite. Red all over like a hairy garment, because why? You can see his blood through his transparent or translucent skin. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor. No rich, middle, poor. No, the middle is gone. It's taken away. All right. And AI is being a tool of how they're doing that. Okay. Because why? AI is taking away all the jobs. Okay. Even for so-called well-to-do off. That's why I preface it by saying the uber rich. All right. Because AI is taking jobs from the well-to-do off people. Okay. Your doctors, your lawyers, all the way down to your just getting by people, your cashiers, your waiters, your waitresses, your warehouse workers, so on and so forth. AI is going to take all that out of the way, okay, and leave it to where either you're going to be rich or poor, as it says, free and bond. To do what? To receive a mark. And you go into that word in the Greek, it is charagma, all right? A stamp, a imprint, okay? You're going to receive that charagma, which we can go into it and look at it and read it. It says charagma, G5480.
Strong's G5480, charagma, charagma.
It goes into a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach. The mark branded upon horses. Pay very close attention to number 2. Thing carved, sculpture, graven work. See, they're going to carve that implant into your skin. It says of idolatrous images, and it's going to be an idolatry, all right? Because why? You're going to worship the beast upon taking this mark, but you're going to have no other choice. See, this goes hand in hand with those 15-minute cities and smart cities that a man is going to desire to want to go in. Because why? On the outskirts of these small cities, these 15-minute cities, you're going to have complete and total anarchy, chaos out there. And these cities are going to be what? Looked at or revered as a refuge city or a secure place to go. See? But one thing for sure, you're going to have to have the proper credentials, okay? Not to go off into another, tangent. But the thing of it is that what? You're going to have the mark, okay? To receive whatever supplements, whether it's universal basic income, and even if you're uber rich, you're still going to have the mark, okay? To fly, to go out, to do everything else. See, it's just that you're going to have more access to things than the poor, all right? You're going to be able to move a little bit more freely, but nevertheless, you're going to have that mark. The only people that's not going to take the mark is the elites, okay? these elite central bankers. Because why? Those are the individuals that you're going to be property of and belong to. And of course, the elect, they're not going to take it, okay? But see, the elites are going to be what? Preserved in those bunkers for what? The first batch of slaves when Yahweh Shai returns, as it says in Revelation 6. Let's see, because is it 6 or 16? Revelation 6 in verse 16. And this is the elite saying what? And said to the mountains and rocks, because they're going to be in their bunkers, and they're going to hear Yahweh Shai and the angels coming, and they're going to say, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us. Because why? They're going to want to die rather than go into what? Captivity and slavery. But little do they know, those bunkers that they're going to run into are going to be their what? Their prison or holding cells, okay? And they're going to be the first batch of slaves that we take into the kingdom and put to work. It says, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. And who is that? Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, and from the wrath of the Lamb. See? So Yahweh, when he sends his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, to judge these other nations, he's going to take these elites and they're going to have what? Continual employment, as it says in the scriptures. And they're going to be put to work. Okay? Night and day. Like Mike said, working day and night. The only time they're going to get off is on the Sabbath. Okay? So it says, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? See, these elites, they're not going to be able to run. They're not going to be able to hide. They're going to be preserved. But nevertheless, they're the only ones outside of the elect that will not take the mark. Because why? They're going to be preserved for what? Slavery. Okay? So now when we jump back to Revelation 13 in verse 16, it says, and he, Esau, Edom, particular, the elites of Esau, Edom, causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, because there will be no more middle class, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand. We read that word charagma, or in their foreheads, right? And the ones in their foreheads, they're going to be able to do a little bit more than just the basic one that you take in your right hand. Because the one in your forehead, you may be able to, have what they call BCI, brain computer interface, where you can interact with the internet through what? The microchip that's embedded inside your brain. Whereas the one in your forehead, you may just be able to get the basic necessities, okay? Like your universal basic income, open doors and stuff like that. But the one that you get inside your brain is going to have a little bit more, freedom kind of, able to move a little bit more. All right. But nevertheless, you're still going to be part of this beast system. It says, and that no man or woman or child might buy or sell, save or except he that had the mark or the name of the beast, because it's all going to be included on the mark when you take it, or the number of his name. And whatever number that corresponds with the elite that whoever takes it belongs to, that's the number that's going to be on that charagma, that microchip. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. What is that? For it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, threescore and 6. And that's where you get 666. Now, when you go into Greek, that's chi, psi, stigma. When you go into that word stigma, it means to what? Prick. They're going to prick your flesh with that hypodermic needle that they're going to use to implant the implantable device underneath your skin. And from that moment forward, you will be property of the central banker of whoever owns you. All right. They could cut your funds off. They could do whatever they want. If you get out of line, it's going to be easy for them to hit you with that, what you call that thing they used to prod them cows with. They're going to just hit you with that, send a little bolt or shock through you, or they may just cut your funds off for a whole week or a month or however long until you fall in line with their agenda. All right? So AI is a major component or tool to remove the middle class. All right? Because when we go to this verse right here in Isaiah chapter 19, and is it verse 15, it says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. America is synonymous with Egypt. All right. And we know if it's bad in America, that means all elsewhere is doing bad just as much. See, but America is going to hit a lot harder than any other place throughout the whole earth. All right. Because this is where, people come for that beacon of light. All right. This is where the dollar has been supreme for the last 5-6 decades, maybe even more. All right. This is where this whore that rideth on many waters is going to be taken out. All right. This is where what? This is where the saints and the prophets, the apostles, are going to be revenged on. So America is going to hit a lot harder because why? America is also a consuming nation. All right. They consume a lot of products. So once things are removed and they have no, the people speaking of have no idea how to provide for themselves. Like you got third world countries that they're going to be off a lot better than America because why? The people are going to at least know how to survive a little bit longer than America. You Americans, all you know how to do is consume. Amazon.com, Walmart.com, everything.com. That's all you know. And that's how they want it because the transition is just going to be effortless. It's going to be smooth. They're going to keep providing for you. All you're going to have to do is take that little implantable device the size of a grain of rice, all right, and keep everything moving. So it says Isaiah 19:15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. AI is going to take away all of that, man. Okay? And you people don't see. You people don't seem to realize how you're going to make it without having a paycheck. They're going to give you that. They're going to give you free money. It ain't going to be free, of course, but to you, you're going to think it's the best thing since cake and ice cream. I got free money. I ain't got to go to work no more. See, that's going to be the mindset, not knowing it comes with a cost. See, when the elect sees this, we're going to be that, but we're going to be that on the right side. Because why? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is going to provide everything for us. But all you, especially the 2/3 of our people and the rest of these nations, they're going to see it as, hey, it ain't that bad after all. We get free money. We ain't got to go to work. Why not take the charagma, the device? See? And they're going to take it. A lot of people will take it, man, just so they can keep whatever little sign of independence that they think they have, all right? Which is going to be short-lived, man, because once you take it, that's when the real trouble starts, okay? You're going to get tumors and boils and all type of shits. You're not going to be at ease once you take that device, man. See, this is why we fear Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. This is why we keep in his word and patience to the best of our ability. So in that time, he can keep us, all right? So let's get one more and then we'll close out. This is Isaiah 31 and verse 1. It reads, woe to them that go down to Egypt. See? For help. A lot of people, they're going to go and get that device, man. All right? Because they ain't going to have no other answer, no other solution to offset what's coming. And stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. See? You don't have any clue on what to do because you didn't seek Yahweh while he may be found. It says, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. So guess what? The Lord is going to give them over to that reprobate mind. And they're going to take that device, that charagma, all right? Because it's finna get real out here, man. The little bit of freedom that you got, they're going to strip it away from you. And when you try to combat that and get in an uproar, guess what? They already got provisions in place for that. They got troops they're going to have out for when you come such a attitude when it says sedition among men. They got provisions. They got troops. They got the UN. They got all these other agents that they're going to put into place, martial law, once all hell breaks loose. Once the people see that they've been lied to, which we're right around the corner, then that's when all hell breaks loose, man. And that's when these smart cities, these 15-minute cities, are going to be revered. They're going to be looked at as a place to go, because there's going to be too much going on outside, all right? But see, the elect of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai will be taken care of in the midst of all of that, because we're going to be right in the midst of Jacob's trouble. It's just that we're going to have that hedge, that protection around us. And we're not going to have to compromise and take that charagma, that device. All right? So, where is the middle class? Make it make sense. The Bible just did. Okay? Call halayim la Yahweh ba'hashim Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Let's go ahead and close out. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, and verse 8. It reads, be sober. See? We're telling you right now. Because when this happened, and it will happen, you're not going to be sober in that time. You're going to be panicking. If you haven't already gotten right with the Lord, when this happens, a lot of people are going to lose their mind. They're going to freak out. And that's when they're going to make the worst decision of their life, is when they're what? In haste. So it says, be sober, be vigilant. See, that's when Isaiah 33:6 is going to come into place for us. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. See, this truth is going to keep us stable while everyone else is freaking out because they ain't going to see. Jobs are going to start laying off more and more, and by the drove, AI is going to take over, and people are just going to lose it, man. Bills are going to be piling up. Rent going to be having to pay. Rent is going to have to be paid, and motherfuckers going to be getting laid off because of AI, man. Okay? Just going to say it. And a lot of people going to start doing things that you wouldn't necessarily see them do it, but because these things are bringing out the worst of people, or should I say the true feelings of people, you're going to see neighbors going up against neighbors, all type of things, man. Okay? So the stage will be set, and it's being set. So we telling us, our people, to do what? Be sober, be vigilant, but only the elect is going to take heed to these warnings and do what's asked of them by Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. That's to do what? Repent and seek the Lord 10 times more and get their spirit, their temple ready for what's to come. It says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And those are the ones that are going to take the charagma, the microchip, because they're going to be through, man. The devil got them one. Or should I say got them 2/3. All right, because why? They're going to be destroyed here in America with that thermonuclear fire by those missiles, those ICBMs, those intercontinental ballistic missiles, alongside all the other nations. But we're not concerned about them. We're concerned about our people. All right, and only the elect is going to make it out of here. Short and simple. All right, so where's the middle class? Hey, make it make sense. It's through. All right, and the Bible explains it. So that's going to be it. With that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, stay strong, stay in the faith, Hey, we're almost home. Shalom. Peace.